started. So, Mike, we're going to cut the I mean, people are going to want pictures of that. It's pretty special. Right? And then we can cut it later with something really shocking.
All right, we're here with Bryan Singer at the Trick or Treat screening at the Egyptian Theater. How are you tonight, sir?
Good, very good.
So, did you ever think that the movie would get this cult status that it has right now?
No, I had no idea. Mike Dougherty always felt it would. Mike always felt, he said, Bryan, you name a movie after a holiday or with a name like Trick or Treat that corresponds with a holiday, and you make it sweet, nostalgic, and loving and caring to that holiday, it will play every year and it will find an audience. And he was absolutely right. So I'm excited.
Well, it has this cult following now. You guys thought it was going to be a major theatrical release at the time, correct?
Not a major, but we thought it would get in theaters, and it did not.
What was the reaction among the cast and crew when you guys found out it was going to direct-to-video and to screenings and stuff like that?
A bummer. You know, we have a strong cast, and they, you know, at that time it wasn't Saw, it wasn't that kind of movie, so it didn't, you know, the materials, they were tested with the wrong audience. It was just a big wrong situation for it. But what's amazing is to see it play on video, play on demand, and now have this kind of cult status where it's made a profit and it continues to make money, and it will continue to play every Halloween.
And obviously no official word yet on a sequel. If one does exist, is there a script at least ready to go?
I can't talk about that. Ask Mike.
How are you celebrating Halloween tonight, sir? Or this holiday, sir?
Oh, I'm going to see this movie. I don't know. I'll probably just go out on the boulevard and walk around in some costume or something.
Great. Thank you for your time, sir. I know we're in a rush, and thanks again.
It's crazy.
So, all these years, the movie's been out there. It's been growing. It's been gaining this cult status. What are your thoughts on that? I mean, did you ever expect it? Did you think this was going to? Do you think you'd be sitting here tonight for this screening right now?
I think the big thing was that Michael Dougherty, the writer and the director, he always said people are going to love this film, and even though it has taken a strange journey to get here, he's right. People are crazy about it, and tonight, all these different people that have seen it and want to see it again. They want to see it on the big screen. They want to see it with a group of people. It's like, wait till everybody sees it at once. So it's pretty exciting. It really is. I had no idea what journey it would take, and you know, if this is the way it's got to be, that's cool. That's good.
So, in talking with Michael, he had mentioned that one of the reasons why the movie was delayed was because the studio got cold feet to his. You know, he actually said to cold feet. He said there were a lot of trends in the horror movie genre, you know, that this film didn't follow. What are your thoughts on horror movies? Do you think they're in a good direction? Do you think they should go somewhere different? Are you a fan of them?
You know, it's funny. It's like I enjoy a Texas Chainsaw Massacre just with the next guy. But I also really like a little bit more plot, a little bit more the ability to move in and out of a story the way that Trick or Treat does. I think I like a journey, and I like a few laughs every now and then. I think some of the more serious killer, like there's a phone call and what's going to happen, or you look at a video and your soul gets robbed. It's kind of nice to be able to laugh a little bit along with it and see some more normal people doing stupid things. I've always kind of liked that. I always like people running and all of a sudden they trip.
So we touched on this a little bit during our audio interview, but and I mean, I'm sure everyone's heard of the movie you're about to be in. Tell us a little bit about what you're going to be in next.
I'm coming out at Christmas time in an indie film called Anchorman 2, and it's got some little-known actors in it, Will Ferrell and blah blah blah.
I think he's going to be big one day. He's good.
Yeah, Will Ferrell has got. I've got a lot of promise. I mean, he's limited. Can I say that? This isn't going anywhere, is it?
No, just between here.
But he's lucky. He's surrounded by people like myself that have fecundity genes.
That's right. Talented people.
Yeah.
Very talented.
Will and Adam McKay. I mean, the two of them are like two sides of the same coin, and they were a gas to work with. I'll tell you, they were fun.
So if we also were speaking about how you were coming from the Heartland Film Festival. Now that you've done your journey, you did your long car ride. How did that all turn out? How was that for you?
I actually just finished premiering my film that I directed, 23 Blasts, with Stephen Lang and Alexa Vega and Timothy Busfield. And we won the Audience Choice Award.
Congratulations.
Narrative fiction at the Heartland Film Festival.
Congratulations.
We're very excited about that.
How are you tonight, sir?
Good, thank you.
Did you expect when you were doing the film that it would be so have such longevity? Did you think you'd be here at a screening like this tonight?
Well, you know, about this movie is that one always had great expectations for it because it's such an original piece of work. But I'm afraid, you know, it's indicative of a lot of movies that one makes that get its due desserts much later than, you know, when it first comes out. I've done a few movies like that over the years, you know, so I kind of know what that's like. These sleeper movies, which actually are the best kind of movies because they do have, as you say, longevity. And this is what this movie has, because it's an extremely stylish piece of work. Brilliantly realized by Mike Dougherty. He's done a phenomenal job on it all the way through. And finally, it's getting its just desserts. But it's indicative of the state of the industry that there are a lot of movies like this that don't get this kind of, you know, don't get their just desserts. You know, everybody's complaining about we can't get our movies made. And the truth of the matter is, what annoys me is the audiences are deprived from seeing films like this. And it's great that this evening is about the audience. And it's about the audience who says, you know, you guys, you got it wrong. We love this film. We want to see this film. And this is an audience film.
Absolutely. Michael had spoken about how this film ended up getting delayed because the studio system kind of got cold feet in that it's such a different kind of horror film. What are your thoughts on the state of horror movies and genre films these days? Do you think the industry is going about it the right way, or do you think they need to change something?
Well, I think the industry is a little bit 19th century in its thinking. You know, it's still ruled by suits who really don't understand the kind of creative imperative. And the audiences are always much smarter than the suits. They know what it's. They recognize one S from a different S. You know, and I think that's what's the proof of this particular footage. What's very true about Mike. Mike's an artist. You know, he's a real artist. It comes from, you know, as we've found, especially in the rise in the last few years of the whole comic book phenomenon, and that's where Mike's roots are. You know, and I think that it shows this is a lot of mistakes were made that should never have been made. I think this film would have grossed a hell of a lot more if they had released it at the time, as they should have released it and had the guts to do so. But, you know, they're always chasing their skirts.
Right.
Big movie makers, you know, you just go, have the courage of your confidence. You know, you've gone this far, release the bloody thing, you know, let the thing be seen.
I think that was the most surprising thing about it. I mean, the film was done, and they just decided to send it straight to video. It was really kind of a weird thing.
It was ridiculous. It was ridiculous. It was insulting. It was and unnecessary. And the proof is now, like tonight, the film has outlasted all those people at that time who said, oh, you know.
That's true.
That's just, you know, we've moved on, and the film is ahead of itself. It's always been ahead of itself. You know, it's very near the knuckles, a movie, you know, but that's what horror movies used to be, you know, when they were horror.
Right.
And you went, ah! You know, this movie certainly does that.
How you doing, Quinn? And before we actually got the camera turned on, we were talking about video games. Are you a video game player?
Yes, and I play quite a lot of video games. I preferably play PlayStation 3, and I play quite a bit of Assassin's Creed, if you know that game. I was actually going to dress up as an assassin this Halloween, so that's going to be exciting.
So you got the costume together? You ready to go with it? That's awesome. What do you think of tonight? Is it what you expected? Is it more? Is it...
It's a lot more people than I expected. I expected it to not be as packed for such a high-end kind of big theater as it is. I've been to the Chinese theater just across the street, and it's huge. And this is about the same size that I remember the Chinese theater to be, and it's just fully packed with so many people. It's ridiculous.
So, you were able able to play Sam. I remember in speaking with you the other day that it was over half your lifetime ago. There have been a few days since we spoke. Any news on possibly reprising the suit or playing a different role in any upcoming films?
I would have to look into that, but I'd probably play the Peeping Tom again, but just older, because it would be an homage, not any other reason.
What would you like to plug for the viewers?
It's been kind of quiet this year, but that's probably because I'm growing and that kind of stuff. But like when they think I'm one height and then I'm like another foot tall. Yeah, and I've actually worked on a TV show recently called The 100. It's a sci-fi TV show, and I only play a small part in it, but it's a really cool kind of sci-fi idea. And I got to meet an executive producer, which I know from another show, who directed the Once Upon a Time episode. I was in the Hansel and Gretel episode called True North, and Dean Wright, the director, who was also the executive producer on the 100 show, and I was like, oh wow, this is an incredible reunion. And then I see the two sound guys from Trick or Treat, and I'm like, wow, small world.
And where can people find you these days? Do you have a social media presence, I assume?
Yes, I'm at Quinn Lourd, and I'm also on Facebook. Which is kind of bland, but I've actually Halloweenized, I think that's the word, my Twitter page, so it has like my assassin's costume, but with like a skull face, because I went to this event before I left Vancouver to come down here for this event. I went to something called the Parade of Lost Souls, which is basically a Day of the Dead kind of idea.
Oh, cool.
You worship and you remember your lost family members from long ago. And it was a parade. It was part of the parade, which is kind of awesome.
That is awesome.
It was thousands of people. It is just so many people. And I actually looked for a couple Sam costumes, but I just saw the closest thing to that. I just saw a whole bunch of. There's actually someone dressed up in like an orange jumpsuit. They had like this pumpkin in the top there.
It's getting there.
Yeah.
But thank you so much, Quinn. We really appreciate it.
Obviously, I was super excited. I was like 17 years old, I think. And when we first got it, we thought it was going to be like a blockbuster. You know what I mean? Like super, like lots of money, lots of advertising everywhere. You know what I mean? And when we found out it was going to be a lot smaller than that, I appreciated it more, because with that we get a lot more like quality fans instead of like quantity fans. You know what I mean? People actually care about the film and talk about it and stuff. And over the last like 5 years, it's just built every single year, and like just the exposure alone, like it's helped my career. And the film itself is just like word of mouth is just building it like crazy, you know. And that's why we're so close to like, you know, maybe hearing about a sequel or something. I mean, it deserves.
Are you dropping us hints? Do you know something?
I don't know anything. That's just what I want. Look, I died in the first one, so it doesn't, I'm not saying that because I want.
It's Trick or Treat. Anything can happen.
Exactly. So I'm not saying that because I want to be in the second one. I'm saying that because I feel like A, it deserves a sequel, and B, it needs one. It was such a good film, and Michael did such a good job with it. I mean, I think they should follow it up for sure.
What did you think? I mean, what was the mood among the cast when you guys found out that it wasn't going to have a theatrical release?
It was. I mean, I was just friends with the Vancouver people, so I mean, I'm from Vancouver, so we. It was. I mean, it's like whatever. Like, it's not a big deal. I mean, at least I got to go see it in some festivals and stuff, which was cool. I'd never been to like, you know, any like the Scream Fest festivals or any like the, you know, horror, that whole cult world. I'd never been introduced to before, so it was perfect, man. It was actually a really good like introduction into that kind of that fan base. But it was fine. I mean, I was a little worried, but then as soon as it came out, it's just been building, you know. And look at here we are. You know what I mean? Like 5 years later, they've got this awesome screening for us. So it's cool.
It's pretty cool. How did you come to be in the film? Did you just audition? Did you? I mean,
audition. Yeah. I auditioned for casting in Vancouver, and then I met Michael and worked with him, Dougherty, for the director session, and then I just I did a good job, and then I didn't actually hear about it for about a month and a half afterwards, and I had my agent call to see about a possible, you know, because we never heard anything, and then they said, oh yeah, he got it. So I don't know.
Surprise!
Like, if there was like a mistake made or something, if like Shia LaBeouf was supposed to play my role and then he like dropped out.